One thing about creating files with functions and subfunctions is that it's very easy to get tripped up and lose track of either where your function is or where your variable is or what the value of your variable is. So I wanted to have a few notes here about good practice. And by that I mean things you should do even though MATLAB doesn't force you to. So good practice for functions. First of all, as I've mentioned, try to never use global variables. You will not need to for any of the challenge problems in this course, although I guess one day in the future you might find yourself needing a global variable. It's pretty rare. Let's just say that. Pretty rare. I'll put never in quotation marks. Never use global variables. You should use different variable names inside a function than you do outside the function. So if you have a subfunction defined at the end of your main function, the code you use for naming that variable should be different in the main function than it is down in the subfunction. That's just like the example that I made in another video. Another tip is you should define functions sequentially. If you have to create a subfunction, then have your beginning function, your main function, the one that matches the file name, make sure that it ends before you start the definition of your subfunction. So it's function end, function end, function end, function end. You can have as many as you want, but each one should be finished, it should end before you begin defining the next one. So that's what we call defining functions sequentially. Those are good habits to get into. And if you check out the general guidelines for challenge problems in this class, these are all required. So if you have any questions about how to define a function sequentially or how to use different variable names, please let me know. If you get feedback that says you use the same variable name inside as you did outside, this is what I'm talking about. All right, those are my final thoughts for creating functions and subfunctions. See you next time.